Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Nice to see you here today. And let's go ahead and get started right away. There's a lot to cover. We're going to be talking about some of the news regarding cryptocurrencies. And also, we're going to be looking at Apecoin, which, since I talked about it yesterday, there was some good performance in this area. So we'll be looking at that. So here we are on the 4-hour chart for Bitcoin, where we see that good news first is we did not push the price any lower yesterday, or at least we didn't close any lower yesterday. As you can see here, we stay relatively stable in this area, but we are struggling with our 13 and 20 EMA lines over here, and you can see they are giving us massive resistance currently. We did manage here to poke towards the 50 EMA line a few times, but you can see also we drop, and we'll talk about how Nasdaq and the traditional markets are affecting this. You can see there was some volatility yesterday, and exactly here when the markets opened, Bitcoin started to, of course, drop yet again, but then immediately, or not immediately, but relatively quickly, finding recovery again after the market dropped. And here on the 1-hour chart, you can see that we are basically moving in a sideways fashion right now. So we have to be on the lookout, of course, for that. And one thing to note here is that we are moving inside a range. We can go ahead and draw a box over here so you can see that clearly, and you can also draw that in your own chart. You can see we haven't built a lower low or a higher high, excuse me, but we remain in this area. If we manage to push through and go over the 100 EMA line here, that would be, of course, a very good sign for Bitcoin. That means we have a lot of support here at around $38,400, and therefore it's very important we pay close attention to this range here. Now, what is it that I expect now to happen in the near future? Of course, tomorrow evening, the Feds are going to be announcing if they're going to raise the interest rates. If so, then of course, today I would expect that there's going to be similar volatility to what we had here. And that, we have to sort of take that into account for today. And also when it comes to the altcoins, because if we have yet again another, a correction like this, 3%, that means for the altcoins dropping 4, 5, 6, or even 7% in price. So it doesn't matter if you're looking at XY coin and there's a lot of good support at a certain level. If Bitcoin drops, the altcoins will drop as well. Now let's go over to the 4-hour chart here for Bitcoin and look at our Fibonacci retracement levels, which are also very useful. So let's go ahead and bring that tool over here and draw it on the screen. So you can see we are struggling here with our 0.3236 level down here. We also tested our golden pocket up here and also tested the 0.5 level. So all of this, it's very important. Also, if you add this to your charts, it's a good tool, very useful to see more or less what we can expect as far as movements go here. Another thing to notice is our EMA ribbons are all very spread apart. So that means it's not like when they're getting closer to each other and getting narrower and narrower, because then you can say, okay, in the next day or two, you can expect a big movement either up or down. In this case, they are very spread apart. So it could be that, for example, if something happens tomorrow when the decision is announced, that Bitcoin skyrockets, something that I personally do not expect, but is a possibility that I will talk about tomorrow in the update video. Now, if we look at here at the Nasdaq and Bitcoin and compare these two, so here we will be looking at the 15-minute time frame for both the traditional and Bitcoin markets. And so here the first thing you see, of course, is a lot of volatility, as you can see here. And the first comparison to draw here is this candle. You see we have a similar candle right here one that pushed the price very, very low, but recovered almost instantly. And this was around the time that the markets opened. So Bitcoin has a very similar movement in the market with a little bit of a drop and then a buying candle, which is similar to this one here. And of course, here is Bitcoin's buying buy candle. And then after that, step by step, you see how the traditional markets start to fall, going to the day lowest point in the price. And what happens with Bitcoin? Same thing, a little bit of a bounce here, same as on the right, and then drop in the price, same thing as over here. But when the markets surprisingly recover, the traditional markets, you start seeing the same thing with Bitcoin. Price goes up, then here, same as here, it goes into a recovery or a sideways phase. Then the price goes up a little more here for the traditional markets, and Bitcoin does the same thing, goes up as well. And then towards the end of the day, you see we build, or we go to the highest point for the market in that day. Bitcoin does the same thing and then goes back into basically sideways phase, which is the orange box. So this goes just to show you how connected and all the parallels that you can see in how the traditional markets move and how Bitcoin is moving. And this is a subject that I've been talking about for months. So if you're subscribed to the channel, you already know about this. And I've talked about this a whole lot. And I actually haven't seen any other, analysts there here on YouTube talk about this. I mean, I saw a couple of them already started doing it, but I think I was the only one, or one of the few, who was able to spot this and then started talking about this with my subscribers. So that's why it's important that you guys subscribe to the channel, you hit the notification bell, and that you continue to watch our videos. Now, I wanted to talk quickly about the volatility for Nasdaq. And for that, we have this chart here that if we look at the daily time frames, you can see there's a lot of volatility, a lot of movement here that really for quite some time has been playing out in a much more violent way, I would say, than in other years and previous years. And you can see little by little we're moving back into this previous high that we had here. We have, of course, this spike, which this is when the corona situation first started. We see this spike in the volatility, but now you can see that little by little we're going back to the previous high or to the previous level. So just to talk about this, I'd be interested to hear from you guys what you think it's gonna happen here as far as volatility goes, not just again for the traditional markets, but also for Bitcoin and the rest. What is your feeling? What do you think is going to take place in the next weeks or months? So now let's go over and have a look at Ethereum as well. First thing here is you see we broke out of our falling wedge here on the screen, and once again this line, which I talked about this line already, I've been talking about it for weeks, and I mentioned that yesterday in the video. I said here this line is going to be strong resistance, and that's exactly what it was. There wasn't a break through like this we didn't have a massive move past it, but rather that's where we got rejected, and now we are retesting the breakout. So we first had to overcome that in order to go back to the $3,000 levels. If not, if there's a lot of volatility and drops in the markets, then we could be heading towards 2,690 or $2,680. So that's it for Ethereum. And now let's go and have a look at Apecoin. We talked about this yesterday, and congratulations to those of you who watched the video and took notice of our point of control. Right now, the movement in the market for Apecoin has been good in the last 24 hours. You can see exactly here, and I haven't modified this in any way at all. I talked about this level here, saying it was a good opportunity for opening a trade, and that is exactly what this became. You see here, point of control, and then boom, the price climbing from there on forward. You see here about almost 9.5% winning. So congratulations to those of you who came in the market and placed a position. Here we could be forming what it could be a double bottom, so the price could go lower yet again a little for a brief amount of time, and then actually pick up. But we are struggling with our EMA lines here, so there's a lot of resistance there to overcome before something like that takes place, and then we could be moving towards the $16 price level. Now let's look at the news quickly here for the economy calendar. You can find this at investing.com. And of course, tomorrow again, we have the Fed's decision to double the interest rates from 0.5 to 1%. And so, this is obviously what we've been talking about throughout this entire video in the last couple of days. So keep that in your mind. Also here from Bitcoin Echo, it says that Solana is plummeting. Something that I don't really agree with, or at least they're questioning if will continue to plummet. For those of you who are members of my coaching service, one of you asked what were the case or the different scenarios for Solana, and so I said, well, there's either one where we find support up here and then we move up from there, or we fall down into this consolidation phase and then move upwards from there. And so that seems to be what we are doing right now. And I personally then don't really subscribe to what bitcoinecho.com is reporting here. I think what happens is, of course, Bitcoin a lot of influence as to how the price is behaving here, but Solana is still doing better than most of the other altcoins. Of course, we had a huge race in the price over here, as you can see, with a previous all-time high. But we find ourselves currently in this consolidation area here, which is a big range, yes, excluding, of course, our spike here in the middle. But we're still here moving in a sideways fashion, and I really don't think that Solana is especially affected as the other ones, compared to the other ones. And here also in the news, Bitcoin is an alternative, a liquid alternative to cash, says Elon Musk from Tesla. And so, a lot of things that they've done is they are doubling down in their bets for Bitcoin, becoming sort of a environmentally friendly mining company, or not maybe Tesla itself, but who knows how they're going to do it. But they are showing interest in this, and they're invested in this technology. So it's also interesting to keep Elon Musk on the radar, see what he says every now and then regarding this. So anyway, that is all that I prepared for you guys today. Hope that you could take something with you. And tomorrow, again, pay attention to the Fed's decision. We're going to have a live stream for those of you who speak German. Have a great day. My name is Basti. Bye-bye.